oasis, brochet, shay, ricochet, whatever you want to call me. All right, let me turn this down. All right, that shouldn't be too loud. So I recorded this video actually some days ago, and then I deleted it. There were some things I said, and I was like, I want to say that for my book, okay? I am in the process of creating and putting together a cleansing oasis book, okay? So, let me get right into this. I don't want to wait. Let's not stall. So the title of this video, I am starting a new series, by the way. We did spiritual dosage for what, about 2-3 months, and I'm changing it. I think I might stick to this. I had this idea actually last year, and I never kind of rode out with it. But it is called Beautifully Spoken, okay? So I was giving you guys dosages, right? And I was pulling tarot cards, which I might pull one card, but I think I'm gonna take a break with the tarot. It's just, I already have so much wisdom I can give you out and in of whatever situation you have going on. And there's just a lot when it comes to the tarot stuff, okay? And I just think it's best if I stay in this element of things, okay? I have a lot of private conversations outside of YouTube and the things that I speak on, even on Instagram, with people who, you know, along this journey you meet certain people and you have certain conversations, and I seem to be a stimulator in certain things, or just in people's life. So we're gonna keep it like this. Beautifully Spoken is a segment or series based off of, you know, just a collective or a collective amount of wisdom that I feel the need to share, or that I am guided to share, okay? So I do have to make sure I take a step back, because there's a lot of information I just don't want to share. You know, there's just some certain things you just don't need to share with people, and there's certain things you just need to wait in time. Everything's divine timing. So with that being said, Beautifully Spoken, okay? So when I originally did this, there's some spiritual homework in it, okay? So I'm going to give you guys the talk about the title of this, Repeated Cycles Happen by Mistake on Purpose. And then we have some spiritual homework, okay, that I'm going to give you guys. But when I was writing this, because I kind of felt, you know, spiritually guided, you know, I was like, okay, I feel like there's some homework. I can tell that you're pushing me onto the internet. What am I about to talk about? And I sat there and kind of just for about an hour. I was up to like 2-3 in the morning. I'm always up. And it just came naturally. And I did the homework. In other words, I did the homework that I'm giving you guys. And I'll share that with you guys. And why I think you should do it. If you come across this page and you're past 3 minutes in this video and you stay and you feel the need to stay, it is for you, okay? And if not, then hey, you know? So, let me take out this gum. It's actually helping, but I'll take it out. So, let's start with repeated cycles happen by mistake on purpose. Now listen, I don't know if there's some philosopher out there that's came up with this. There's been a lot of different, like, philosophies that I've heard. And I'm like, wait, I thought that and I never read it, you know? So I don't know. I literally sat down, and when I was going through something, which I will share with you guys, I thought, like, this literally came in my mind and I just wrote it down. Repeated cycles happen. I was going to say repeated cycles happen by mistake with purpose, but it goes hand in hand anyway. What did I mean by this? Okay, I'll give you an example first. I kind of got triggered this morning by it as well. I seen something on Vlad TV, but I won't get deep into that. I had a certain person around my energy where me and this person are family members, and we grew up around each other. Around each other. I'm trying to get my words out because I can feel like I don't want to allow myself to kind of like reminisce on just the feeling of everything. Got to be careful with that. So anyway, I apologize. So me and this person have seen each other through the worst, right? We know everything about each other. And I guess at a certain level, I felt this person should respect me, especially me being older than them and being wise and helping them out of a lot of situations and just being there as a support system for a very long time when nobody else was there. There's a certain level of respect. Oh, what is that in here? I apologize. I don't know what that was. There's a certain a level of respect that it's not necessarily feel entitled to, but it's an unspoken thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things you just don't say, and it's certain things you just don't do. And you know, they say where you go through certain things, when you hit rock bottom, you really see who's there. So I was going through certain things, and I just felt like this person was just really disrespectful. I'll just say that. This person crossed the line of respect in my eyes, and I can fix a lot. I can put effort into making something work. We can get through some things. I don't mind that. But there's just certain things you just don't say and you don't do. And I feel like when people cross a certain line of boundaries with me when it comes to certain things they say and do, you're saying fuck me, ultimately. Excuse my language, but you're throwing your middle fingers up at me. You're telling me I don't care. But what seems to baffle me sometimes is it's confusing, because when people treat you like that, that means that they don't care if you're away from them. So when I take these when we, you know, I distance myself or cut people off, and then they still want to keep themselves attached to me, it's like, okay, there's an issue. So me and this person decided to part ways. She threw up her hands like, I could care less. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll move on, you know. And when I say move on, I'm talking about no speaking, no nothing. Like when I say cut off, I'm not talking about just call. No, this was a complete no phone call conversations, no come see me. I honestly was distancing myself from everybody anyway. I'm just that type of person, especially when I'm not around people who are growing, and I feel like they could penetrate my energy in some shape or form. So this was easy for me, because I've been practicing the form and art of detachment for a really long time in a healthy way. So this person randomly hit me up, but I seen that she was acting as if nothing happened like all the other times. This was a cycle. I was like, every time me and this person decides to go our own ways, it had been over 4.5 something months, this person will randomly call me, and the first thing they're saying is like excitement, like, oh, and I'm just sitting here thinking as she's talking, like, here we go, another cycle. Not calling me and say, hey, listen, I know you feel disrespected. I know what I said was wrong, blah, 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 blah. No, just, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I want you to be a part of it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to be honest, with this person being a certain family member and me loving them so close to my heart and feeling obligated in a way, but in a way where I understood why this person did and said the things that they did. I made excuses, and this was a cycle that I had with a lot of people around me. I made excuses for people because people used to tell me, I'm not strong like you, or you're on the spiritual, you're on a different level than me. Like, and I would say, well, like, I see the type of work I'm putting in, I get it, but it all reframed down to me actually putting the work in. I was like, I'm no better than you. People looked at me like that. I never put that on me. So, needless to say, she started bringing up other things in the family. Things were said and done, and I remember being on the phone with her. Okay, and I told her, I try to handle her with, care, because I know, not saying she's fragile, but certain things triggered this person, so I didn't want to trigger her. I didn't want to come out and say the wrong thing and say something to her that can hurt her. That was not my intention. I just wanted to be honest, because we were conversing as in, I think she was getting the idea like we were back being best friends, and I was like, I have to be very honest with how I feel. And I seen a post on Instagram, I think her name is Holistic. She's a psychologist, but her approach is very holistic. And she always posts certain things, and it's just like, oh, it just get to that wound. But she posted how certain family members or siblings, you don't have to be close. You know, that's a certain program that's placed upon us in a household. Like, you gotta, family gonna always be there, you know, no matter what happens. And I'm like, no, I grew out of that real quick. Like, nah, this ain't it. So I told her, I said, listen, I explained to her, I said, listen, I know we have a lot in common, but it seems like we really don't have a lot in common, but, you know, traumatic experiences, and that's it. Maybe things that we like, far as like food, we don't even want, you know, maybe we could talk about television or certain things on TV, or, you know, even to a certain extent, we don't even have certain things in common. But I was telling her, like, when it comes to the things that we value and that we place in the core segment of where we're venturing off, or where we want to grow, or what fuels us, or our purpose, our mission. Now, we can have different missions, you know, but we just had different values. We had different ways that we approach conflict, and it wasn't healthy. You know, we had different ways, and it just, we weren't in tune. We're not on the same frequency. All right, we're just not compatible in a way that's healthy for us. I was trying to put it in a form and say it to her, but the whole time I was on the phone FaceTime with her, I was burning my Palo Santos like crazy. I kept burning, and I know for me, when I'm doing that and I'm talking to someone and I'm just finding different things, that's me. That's like an alarm to me. And I was paying attention to that. I was like, I've got to get off this phone. I had already planned on taking a spiritual bath that day. It's around Pisces new moon, and I was like, I see what this energy is. I was already feeling certain energies. I was already taking baths like almost every day, just like cleansing myself. And I was like, when I get off the phone with her, I've got to cleanse myself. Here's where it gets really deep. As I was doing my spiritual ritual cleansing, I felt the energy of it, the energy trying to pull me back, and it was on such a deep level, a DNA genetic level in this person. I felt like I was like not the end cap to my family, but there was a certain energy maneuvering that it was trying to like get to me. I was like, oh hell no. I could feel that as I was taking my spiritual bath. And thank God, I have these different mechanisms that I use mentally as a weapon that I added to the bath ritual, because it's not just you getting in some water. It's a whole thought and feeling process connected together. It's very powerful, but stay tuned for the book. I will drop those gems. But I could feel it, like it was present. And you know, if I can give you an example of what this really truly was on like a physical level, it's like, you know how you go so long, like for instance, I haven't had a soda in years. You go so long without having something that's not healthy for you. Food, just take it, cake, something that's unhealthy, something that you haven't had in so long. And then you decide to have it. I take a sip of soda now, oh my God, my whole head starts to hurt. You know what I'm talking about. Whatever it is that you indulge in or that you like that's unhealthy for you, and then you finally eat it or drink it or indulge in it, and it makes you feel sick. That's what that was like. That was equivalent to that. My head was hurting, not so bad, but I could just feel the energy. It was so thick when I got off the phone with her. I was like, we ain't finna do that, because I can feel the energy on that level. But see, that's the thing. When you do this amount of work over a period of time, you know yourself on such a deep level. You know, you'll know when something comes in your energy that it's not meant to be there. And that's what I'm getting at with this repeated cycles happen by mistake on purpose. This goes to people creating cycles that were placed upon them as children or as they grew up. As you grow up, you allow the world to become of the world. These cycles happen because you get comfortable. And I seen it, and it's no shade to her, you know what I'm saying? And I send her loving and healing energy. It's just that I can't be a part of that, you know? Repeated cycles happen by mistake. I see that this is, or even, you know, as you're watching this, as you can relate, certain cycles just happen because people choose to misuse or misplace their energy by mistake, you know? But it's on purpose because that's your choice, that's your power, and people give away their power every day, and they don't see how they kind of conform to these cycles on a day-to-day basis. Gossip, TV, things that they eat, the things that you do, and paying attention to your awareness is so powerful. Yes, awareness is it, but even paying attention to your awareness, being the observer, being the person, not saying outside of your body, but you seeing how things play out 4 or 5 steps ahead. It's like playing chess. And it's so funny because I thought I was so good at chess. Me and my son, we thought we were so good until I got online. I was like, I need a challenge. We've got to learn how to play better. I had so many blunder moves, if I'm saying that right. I was like, oh my God. I had somebody get on there and be like, you do not know how to play. I was like, oh my God, that's why I'm here. I was like, wow, I'm not that good. I mean, I won like the chess game that I'm playing now. It takes points away if you make certain moves, and I like that because it's really challenging me, but it's got me feeling some type of way. But when it comes to handling your cycles, it's kind of like being steps ahead, and you have to, because if you're always, and I'm not saying not live in the moment, but if you can't see when it approaches, the energy told me days prior before that was going to happen. And if you don't pay attention to your surroundings, you won't get that heads up. And sometimes if you don't pay attention to the heads up, when it does happen, you'll find yourself being pushed in that cycle, and then you look back and say, damn, I shouldn't have never said that. Damn, I should have never did that. You know, and I'm not saying I didn't see the signs that were correlated to that, but even in that moment, I was still able to pay attention to my awareness and how my body felt. It's very important to even know, have a relationship with your body where your body can tell you. You know, sometimes you don't pay attention to your body, don't pay attention to the signs and all this other stuff. But I have written down action is followed by principles and values, which I just touched the topic on that. It doesn't seem like majority of people have a certain frequency or tune for health and solid principle. I already talked about that. All right, so getting to 3. What can help you shift this energy and stay in correlation with what it is that you are meant to really divinely supposed to do, or whatever it is that you're set to do on earth? Okay, because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of this happens because people don't have a clear direction of where it is that they're truly supposed to go. People don't know what it is they're supposed to do, who they're supposed to be, the tools they're supposed to use, the resources, all of that. I feel like what helps and guides you to this place of clarity is your mission statement. Me and the kids have one. We actually need to revive it, like, because it was just me writing down like our mission statement. I need to include the children and allow them to put their input on what our mission statement is. But a mission statement allows your soul, I said a soul's mission statement, if not a written one. Remind yourself daily of who you are. I suggest writing a mission statement, your soul's mission statement, because that just reminds you what it is, that who you are. So outside of you, when something outside of you tries to penetrate you or confuse you or come in and cause whatever conflict, whatever, it doesn't matter what type of energy and where it comes from. You have to know who you are, because when it does come up, it can confuse you for a little bit, but if you know who you are, you're going to move straight through it anyway. I have written at the top, energy signatures equals power. When I said that energy signatures, there's another word for it, is allegory, algorithm in a certain way. That's saying, like, regardless of what you believe, there's a lot of people who watch certain things and like, look, I don't believe in that. That's cool. You cannot believe in it all day. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, right? And I put equals power, regardless if you believe it or not. It can be used against you or for you. And that's when I chose the spiritual journey decades ago. When I chose this spiritual journey, I told myself, I seen what was out here. I had already been doing a lot of research. I was such an inquisitive child when I was growing up. I asked a million questions all the time. A lot of questions adults never could answer. That's the funny thing. But as I started to research, I started to look at this world like, oh shit, it's a lot of fucked up shit out here. Like, what is this? What is that? Like, you mean to tell me this happens? Like, it was a lot. I was very bombarded with information, overload. So I started college and then dropped out. And while everybody was in college, I was doing my own research on a lot of different things. And it was just, I was very taken back. But what I came to the realization was, I see what is used against people. What if I can use this to my benefit of helping myself, not only myself, but other people around me? And so yeah, so there's people who don't believe certain things, and I get that, but again, doesn't mean that it's not real. Okay. I put on here, here's the homework. Oh, part of the homework was the mission statement. All right, and then let's get to homework. I'll share my homework and I'll be done. It says close your eyes and ask. You can either close your eyes and ask yourself to show you this, but the homework is, if you're asking yourself, you know, I see myself going in a certain cycle with someone or a place or a situation. What's the first step into getting myself out of this? What's a healing mechanism that I can use? I'm about to give you one. Even though you need to buy my book, it's going to be a lot of gems like this, okay? I put look up now. If you journal, if you're an artist, go back to old music. Me, I have a million journals. Let me see if I can show you guys. I have them all over the place. So this is just I have a whole thing. Like when I start this journey, I have journals that I just wrote thoughts, feelings, things I was going to, dated letters, just a lot of stuff. So this is what I go to. Okay, you can grab pictures, anything that holds memories. You can a certain area in your domain. Let me make that very clear. Don't go to someone else's house that's picking up anything. Please don't do that. In your domain. That means your car, your house, what's in deed to you, okay? Your deeds. So, pick up a picture, something that holds memories. It can be pain. You want to pick up something that has some substance of pain, of whatever it is that you're trying to work through, okay? It doesn't even have to be pain, because the book that I picked up when I did do this spiritual homework, this is my creativity book. And as you can see, it's orange. So I just a lot of creativity in here, and just manifestations and just different things like that. But I chose this one. I randomly picked up one. I was like, all right, give me a book. And I picked this one up, and I literally was like, I just opened up the page. And so I'm going to go to the page where I opened up. I had to bookmark it. Give me a second. And I'm going to share it with you guys. And I'm going to show you why it's important to do this. Now, what you want to do is, you want to hold the object, or you want to read the object, go back to that place, that timeline, all right, the energy signature energy, whatever, however you want to say that, on where you were at the time, you know, how you felt, what you went through. Do you see and compare it to the now? All right, it doesn't matter if it was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 10 days ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Compare how you felt and how you reacted, what happened. Is it the same thing that's going on now? And if you can sit in that and hold yourself accountable and say, I feel the same way, you're in the same cycle. If you can look at that memory and say, you know, these are the same things that have happened. Like, I feel the same way. If you feel the same way and you are reacting and responding the same way you did with that memory, you're in the same cycle, or repeating in the same cycle. This was a good positive one though. All right. So it was funny because when I chose this page, I was like, wow, the timing could have not been better. Okay, so let me show you full circle. All right, this came in 360. I have a little 360 in the corner, so this is so funny. And then I'm gonna end it after this. Okay, it says feeling complete. The date. Now, when I did this homework, I originally recorded this. This was about like maybe 6 or 7 days ago. Okay, it says feeling complete. February the 6th, 2022. It says, I reached out to Brother Wiley. Shout out to Brother Wiley. I'm not going to get into details. I don't want to read too much of this because the last time I didn't want to give away a lot of information. But Brother Wiley is a farmer, okay? And he lives outside of North Carolina. But I had the opportunity, okay, to, you know, help him with his crops in 2022. And it was such an amazing experience. I had to get back into it. I miss Brother Wiley. I need to actually call him. I actually thought about him multiple times. I just had certain things that I had to take care of, and I kind of just got distracted. And it's so funny because as I read this, I'm actually talking about the experience I had with him. And let me tell you this, that was an experience that's priceless. You know, to stand with a man that was so wise. This man, being around him made me feel like I was in the presence of my grandfather, and being on his land with his ancestors there. And it was just, oh my God, it was just such an experience I would talk about on another time. I don't want to get too deep into it, but just those are memories, and that's an experience that will forever be in my heart. And I felt like he embraced me as his daughter. He was super excited that I was there. I was super excited to be there. I was like, look, I just want to get my hands dirty. I just want to learn how to grow crops. Like, how do you do this? And I know it was a lot of hard work, but it was exciting. That was something that I always wanted to do. And plants and nature is my thing, of course. But being on his acres just really opened my eyes. It was an experience that I felt like even changed my DNA code, and it was just so, oh my God, it was just so powerful, so powerful. He also has a certain area on the land where I was able to see like his ancestors and like what was passed down to him, pictures all over. Oh my God, it was just, it's such an experience, man. But as I was reading this, I manifested. I talked about being in a place of not working and my bills being paid. I know that the universe will give me the privilege of having both the comfortability and being able to embrace my hobbies and planting seeds. Now we'll see where it goes. I'll continue to journal my progress, either written, recorded, or maybe both. And it's so funny because I literally sitting in a place. Now, don't get me wrong, it ain't been easy. All right, still going through some things, but I have the luxury of sitting in my home. I've been not working for over 4 months now due to an accident, but I like the way that happened. God was like, sit your ass down, and we just need you to rest. You know, just going, doing. Just so many things happening, and just things just unexpected, and I was just like, you know, I just couldn't. And being in this space, I'm not gonna lie, being in this space where and not working, it was a little uncomfortable. I seen a post not too long ago, and it said, rest is a ritual in a way where you're giving back to your ancestors who couldn't rest. And I was like, wow, that's super powerful. I have a grandmother who doesn't rest, and it's so uncomfortable for everybody in the family. It's like, girl, sit down. Even when she's off of work, she's just always going. And I've seen how that manifested in the family with the women in my family, where they feel like they never doing enough, or their health is, you know, trembling, or it trembles, or their health is just not, you know, to 100% capacity, or not, they're just not healthy based off of just overworking themselves in certain areas. And as I was reading this, I was like, wow, I really manifested this. And I felt bad. I was like, I never went back and got my crops. I helped him for a couple months, and he was like, you need to come back and get some squash and get some herbs, you know what I'm saying? Come get some sage. I told him I wanted some lavender and sage, and he gave me, I forgot what it's called. I got a little brain fart. The original, it's not a washcloth, it's a sponge. You grow, God, what is that called? I'll figure it out and post it, because I still have it. But I was supposed to come back and get my crops, my fruits of my labor, my harvest, and I didn't. And to be very honest, I kind of got distracted. I had some car issues, and like I said, he's out of state, so I was traveling from North Carolina to another state just to go to his farm, like twice. I think it was like 3 times a week, and it was just a lot on my car. And then I got distracted. You know, I'm not gonna get into details of what that distraction was, but I kind of got distracted. And so I was reading this. I was like, I need to reach out to his niece. His niece was the one who connected me. My mom is best friends with his niece, and she was like, oh, I'm going to the farm. I was like, going to a farm? I want to go, Mom. Let me come with you. I want to, you know, that was something I wanted. And it just, the way God orchestrated that was beautifully orchestrated. I will say that. And so it's funny because even this manifested. I was like, you know what? I need to reach out to his niece. I need to check. I need to get Brother Wiley's phone number, because I have a new phone. I don't have his phone number. I need to check on him. So I reached out to her, and she was like, hey, you know, I'm so glad you reached out. She was like, he's been asking about you all the time, and he said that you were his best worker. And when she said that, I was like, this man is very seasoned. I think he's in his like 80s, about to hit 90s, and he's had the farm in his possession for a really long time, and so many people have like worked on that farm. I'm like, me? I was just like, wow, I really didn't expect that. I thought that he kind of looked at it like, you know, she never came back to get her crops, and I kind of just was in my head about maybe how he felt about me not being there, and I always just wanted so badly just to be back on his farm and help him with nothing. I'm like, I don't want anything, you know. I really didn't even want the crops, but I get it's deeper. It's a spiritual thing of receiving. I just wanted to be a part of helping this man, and till this day. But she told me that she had a daughter that passed, and you know, I just felt like that's just a way of me reconnecting with her, and I'm glad that I was able, you know, to reach out to her to find this, because I needed to reach out to her to not only reconnect with Brother Wiley, but to reconnect to her as well. She was like a mother that I never had, and I'm glad I was able to reach out, because also her daughter passed, so you know, being sending her my condolences to her at this time and stuff like that. So, you know, this is a really great exercise to partake in, because it'll manifest in so many different ways, and by the time you look back, you'll be like, wow, okay, so this had a greater purpose. It'll manifest mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, and maybe even sexually, you know, just depending on what it is that you're going through. So that is the end of Beautifully Spoken, and you know, I know that this will manifest for you in the way that it needs to. And that's it. Shout out to 𝓑𝓮𝓪𝓾𝓽𝓲𝓯𝓾𝓵𝓵𝔂, okay, for the vibes. Until next time, I love you guys.